today. They're also going to participate in the event to add different activities and things like that. So we're not alone in this event. But yeah, this is planned to have it for sure.
Just for clarification, because I was writing something down, this is happening on June 8th?
Yeah.
This is a one-day activity.
One-day activity, yes.
And in the past, how many students from Saanich-based schools, not the district, but geography, participate?
This is a data we don't have at this point, because when we reached out to teachers, well, we had about 4,000 students that joined from BC, but we were not able to track exactly who joined. So this is something we want to improve in the next year, to really follow our people from the start to the end and who participates.
So we funded this project last year.
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell me, did Saanich schools go to this last year?
Last year we had the Cadbury Bay Festival event. It was during the weekend, so it was mainly families that were passing through, and it was very busy that day.
But this year it'll be in theaters.
It will be in theaters. It's on a Wednesday, so school are running on Wednesdays. So we're planning to promote the event in advance so we can invite teachers so they can bring their classrooms.
Okay, thank you very much.
Councilor Manuel.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just want to say I was down at Gyro when you were doing it, and the amount of families that were around that booth it was really impressive, and some of the comments from the young children to see, but, you know, they can't imagine what's out there. So I think that this sort of a program tying it to World Ocean Day and stuff, it really can promote future leaders in protecting our planet. So thank you.
Thank you very much.
Any more questions from council? Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, our next applicant is the Creek Center for the Family and their Madness Recovery Project.
Good evening, and thank you very much. My name is Jeffrey Singh. I'm with the manager of the Cridge Brain Injury Service with the Cridge Center for the Family. So what we are looking at is a sustainability project to recycle couches, mattresses, and similar type items. And a spin-off benefit of this is an opportunity to employ survivors of traumatic brain injury. The benefits for the municipality of Saanich is a chance to be a leader in sustainability by innovation, savings for taxpayers, and hopefully a good investment of taxpayer funds, and a long-term improved protection for our environment. We can look at decreased illegal dumping, decreased recyclable items, increase the number of couches and mattresses that are recycled or reused, diversifying recycling options for citizens of Saanich, such as the organic program, which I think has been very successful, and an opportunity for employment for Saanich residents who are survivors of traumatic brain injury. The benefits for survivors is the employment rate for survivors return to work is 30 to 40%, but if we look at the other way, is that 60 to 70% of survivors of brain injury are unemployed. We have a chance to employ survivors in this area. If we look at our homelessness stats for brain injury, it's 52% of the people who are homeless have been identified as survivors of brain injury. So with employment opportunities and the sustainability projects, we have meaningful activity for survivors to participate in. Already we've started to look at partnerships with various agencies. We've been to participate in a couple meetings with sustainability issues. We're looking at working with the Hotel Motel Association of Greater Victoria. They have the regular charge out of items. We're looking at recycling and or reuse. We have working with present commercial recyclers. And we have employment training with InFocus Services. We have agencies on board in the field of brain injury and potentially mental health and or fetal alcohol services. We've partnered with the Community Social Planning Network in helping us in developing partnerships and community development and social enterprise. So our qualifications to do this, for the last number of years, the past 8 years, we've been providing employment services and training for survivors in food services. And we have a residence in Saanich for a group home for survivors of brain injury. And we have the infrastructure of the CRID Center. Thank you very much.
Oh yeah, it's flashing, but you keep going.
No, I got it under 3 minutes.
Okay, perfect. Question for Councillor Bryce.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Really quite a unique concept. I think a feasibility study is what you want the money for. And presumably, if a feasibility study came up to say that there was a potential for an ongoing project like this, where do you see the funding coming from?
I think with the infrastructure of the CRID Center, we can look at other foundations and looking at corporate partnerships with I'm not sure if I can share names about who else has been around the table in these initial sustainability meetings, but we've made those contacts with them and have their interest in participating with them. With our food services projects, we've had enterprising nonprofits on board. We have the Victoria Foundation. We're just starting a hot breakfast program for our children at Cridge and a local elementary school, which is provided and served by survivors of traumatic brain injury. So we have opportunities we have established partnerships, and we see more partnerships available.
Thank you.
Councillor Dermott.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Through you, like Councillor Bryce, I see this as an interesting project. You know, one only has to look anywhere around Victoria, and you're somewhere around the end of the month to witness what could be called the Great Mattress Disposal Race. As some renters fire down the street, mattress on the back, and put it somewhere.
Yes.
And usually we have to pick it up.
Yes.
Is there an intent at some point in this program, if it proves successful, to have a system of working with municipalities or others to collect those mattresses that are just left?
Yes, we want to get in front of the mattress dumping project. And so we think that in April, we're going to have the students of University of Camosun College leaving in one of those rentals, and we're going to have abandoned furniture. And we see being able to pick up and not just recycle, but reuse these items and circulate them back into the community.
Thank you very much.
Any other questions? Councillor Haynes.
There was an experience on West Saanich Road where there was a repurposing store, and the experience there was what they didn't want, and then others would come and get it. So the ideas that you just raised there, I thought the mattress part was about dismantling them and taking them apart.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. But you intend to then expand and pick up a wider range and then put it somewhere, then others can come and reuse it.
That's one of the ideas that we're looking at, yes.
I'll share the experience on West Saanich Road. It broke every bylaw in the book, I think, but it was exceedingly popular. And I was there to witness people emptying their cars and people taking them out of their hands and putting them in their cars. It was the most strange thing to see. So what it did say is that there's an appetite there for a location where people can go and pick up some well-used but still very serviceable things.
Yes, I do not disagree. And I was looking at the youth custody center, but it's a big warehouse, but that's been taken up right now.
Thank you very much.
Any more questions? All right, so no, thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, next applicant is Creative United for the Planet.
Good evening, and thank you to Mayor and Council for considering the Creatively United for the Planet Society Sustainability Grant proposal. The Creatively United for the Planet Society has attracted more than 8,000 people to our zero waste sustainability events since our first event in 2012. Plus, we have introduced and produced a book documenting the greening of a middle school, a project that we spearheaded that is now in the public library system. And a variety of educational and resource materials have also been produced in collaboration with other organizations such as the Royal BC Museum, the Robert Bateman Centre, BC Transit, and the Township of Esquimalt. This year is our 5th, and April 15th, 16th, 22nd, and 23rd, we are hosting a region-wide event that is Vancouver Island's largest sustainability showcase and Earth Week event. It includes more than 70 exhibitors, 30 presenters from all over North America, 4 films, a World Cafe, a repair cafe, e-bikes, cars, art, music, and local food. And it also includes a cycling panel discussion that includes District of Saanich Transportation Engineer Troy McKay. The festival's goals directly support the sustainability goals of Saanich, whose participation in promotion and/or speaker sponsorship will enhance the capacity of residents to engage in this event by understanding that it exists, for one, and that they can attend. We know that the funding, based on what we're hearing, is going to come after this event, but we are going to still step forward and seek your support, and as a gesture of goodwill, what we'd like to do is showcase the District of Saanich, your leadership in sustainable practices, and still offer, give people the opportunity of Saanich to know about this event by having Saanich's logo and information on our website, with hopes that you will see the value of this project and maybe funding will be forthcoming after the event. We'll keep our fingers crossed, but we've been encouraged to come, and here we are.
Questions, Councillor Dermott?
Thanks, Mr. Mayor. Good to see you, Francis.
Thank you.
How much is the ticket for this event?
Well, there's 4 complete unique events, but the one that is our biggest event, which is the giant showcase day, is on April 16th. And if you can believe it, a ticket is only $10. And it includes access to all these speakers, exhibitors, all our indoor events. Outdoors, it's free of charge. There's e-bikes, e-cars, there's children's activities, there's even child minding being provided.
Great. Do you advertise for the schools?
We have a mailing list, yes, of 5,000 people, and we will also be in collaboration having our mailing list extend to 13,000 through the school that we're partnering with, which is Royal Bay, for this event, and they have a dedicated mailing list of 8,000 people that they're willing to send it to.
Sure. Do you have the ability to provide promotional materials broadly to schools? I would expect this would be the type of thing that a lot of parents would be very interested in taking their kids to if they knew about it.
Absolutely. Well, we'll be having posters going to all the schools, and I left everybody a little bookmark. You may have seen it there. So we've been trying to distribute those as far and wide as we can. We are a volunteer organization, so it is challenging. All our funds go to basically producing these events.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, Councillor Haynes, then Bryce.
Mr. Mayor, Francis, it's great to see the energy and the innovation you bring to these, but I'd just like a bit of guidance, if I may, from the Director of Finance. The application states the funding request, but for a sustainability grant, I wonder if we can guide the applicant, because there is no matching statement. We have the fiscal return 2015, but we do not have a supporting document in place that, in the terms of reference of the grant, allows us to always put that.
I'm not certain why you don't have that, but I can provide it to you.
And
Yes.
that's why I'm raising this, so you can get that to us.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Director Tingley, can you give us some guidance on that, please?
Yes, Mayor,
Councillor Haynes, we will follow up with this applicant similar to the other one and get the information distributed by the end of the day.
Thank you very much.
Councillor Bryce.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Our Director of Finance is not looking anxious, so I'm assuming that there is nothing in this grant application that precludes grants being given for events that have already occurred. I know sometimes when you see grant applications, they say the grant has to be approved before a grant has been awarded. So I'll just refer to the Director of Finance to see if there's any requirement with this particular grant.
Thank you through the Mayor to Councillor Bryce. There's nothing that's triggering on the policy, but we're going to double check just to make sure.
Okay, thank you.
Any more questions? Councillor Flanagan.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just to the applicant, given the fact that you're going to hopefully be doing this again next year, it almost would be beneficial to have applied for next year. Philosophically, I have a tough time supporting an event that's already occurred. That's me. But if this event is going to happen next year in April, then in theory, this is exactly the time we should be considering it for next year, not in retrospect. So it's hard to get ahead of the game, but I would ask you to please take that into consideration in future application years.
Thank you. Taken into consideration, definitely.
Any more questions? All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Our next applicant is the Community Social Planning Council of Greater Victoria.
Hi, everybody. My name is Doug Heyman. I'm the treasurer of the board of the Social Planning Council. Our planning council was formed 80 years ago, in 1936, and since that time has been invested in improving the lives of residents of Saanich and of Greater Victoria. The goal of the council is shared prosperity, and we use research on social issues to inform innovation, action on reducing poverty, creating affordable housing options, creating sustainable jobs through community economic development, and improving the sustainability of our communities and neighborhoods. We coordinate and deliver programs that enhance social opportunities and respond to need. In Saanich, for example, we run the youth program quality initiative that agencies like the Native Friendship Center and Saanich Parks and Recreation use to enhance supports and programs for the healthy development of young people. We deliver the transit ticket assistance program so that low-income clients of agencies like Artemis Place and Saanich Neighborhood Place can access transportation to get to essential services. We're also delivering a new program in partnership with the Canadian Seniors Co-Housing Society to assist residents of Saanich Peninsula to explore housing options for healthy and affordable community living. Over the years, many new and innovative organizations have been created by the council and spun off into the community, including the United Way of Greater Victoria and Volunteer Victoria. A more recent example is the Vancouver Island Community Investment Cooperative, created to provide a new avenue to channel local investment dollars into enterprises supporting local social and environmental development. We live in a beautiful part of the world, and a lot of people want to live here. And we as a council need to think, or believe we need to think and plan now for communities in which our children will be able to afford to live and raise families, and that will include people from all socioeconomic levels. Cities like San Francisco and Vancouver are already now behind the 8 ball on this issue. From my work with the Board Voices Society of BC, I can tell you that there's a great need for deeper social planning capacity across the entire province. Millions of dollars are being spent in our communities through ministries such as Children and Families, Development, Health, Education, and Social Development. How these are responsive to the problems that municipalities face every day needs to be better understood so that councils can work and advocate more effectively on behalf of their constituents. The capacity of the Community Social Planning Council to deliver applied research and timely and useful information has been demonstrated over the many years. Today, we have a situation where a number of funding organizations have ceased to fund core operations and are targeting all funding to direct service programs. This leaves our Social Planning Council and its important functions vulnerable to the vagaries of project funding and the instability of not knowing for sure where the next dollar is coming from and whether you'll be able to hang on to talented staff. We value the support of the municipality of Saanich and ask for your continued support through this grant application to continue our work on behalf of Saanich and the municipalities of Greater Victoria.
Thank you. Questions from council? Councillor Plant.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, through you to the applicant. Because you spoke more generically about the Community Social Planning Council and the red light went, I'd like to offer you the opportunity to do a 1 minute, approximately, summary of your pedal power recycling project. I already knew much about your organization, but I didn't hear anything about the project.
Thank you. Good evening, council members. My name is Andrew Holton. I'm the CED manager with the Community Social Planning Council. We have been working on a project looking at labor market opportunities in the recycling sector and have been working with a number of community partners on exploring some of these opportunities. The Cridge Centre that you heard from earlier is one of those. Another project that we've been working on is one that is pedal-powered recycling, and I'm joined today by Jutta Gutberlet, who's a professor at UVic, and Tony Hoare, who is a manufacturer of bicycle trailers. We have been working with them and their vision to implement pedal-powered recycling services that would employ low-income residents. These services would align with many elements of Saanich's sustainability. They would reduce transportation-related greenhouse gases. They would complement Saanich's village and neighborhood development approach. They would help reduce landfill. They would see cycling infrastructure used for recreation as well as for supply chain logistics. And as labor is the primary operating expense of pedal-powered recycling, it would also create jobs. To make this a reality requires a feasibility study and some business planning and engagement with residents and businesses. The Social Planning Council is able to provide staff and social enterprise expertise to see this happen, but we would ask your assistance for some additional consultant resource to conduct that feasibility study. Thank you.
Thank you. Subsequent question would be, beyond this first year, how does this become sustainable? I dare say council is not in the process of funding social programming through third-party groups, such as what I would interpret this project to be a form of, by employing low-wage or underemployed people.
We would be looking at a social enterprise model that was predominantly revenue-based. We would be able to assist later in the year through a more intensive business planning process, but the initial feasibility, essentially the initial elements of the business plan need to be looked at first.
Okay,
There are a number. Tony Hoare has designed bicycle trailers for a number of pedal-powered recycling operations, so he has some excellent relationships that will assist our market research to determine a sustainable revenue model.
So just to be clear, what are the trailers going to pick up? Is it primarily bottle deposit items?
We would look at a number of waste management and recycling is fairly diverse. There are a number of market segments, household, residential, multifamily, commercial. There are essentially a number of market opportunities that we would explore.
But what are you picking up? Bottles, kitchens, plastic?
If it fits in a trailer, you can pick it up. It's about where is the financial viability. So that is what we're proposing to explore.
And given the new recycling MMBC, is there any information that you've already ascertained from them that you can work with them? Because other than bottles, I'm not sure you can get into the game. these MMDCs?
There are currently, I believe, 48 haulers that operate within the capital region. We have been successful in working with industry and community organizations to look at partnerships and contracting opportunities. So I think there are a number of ways to enter the market.
Thank you.
Councillor Haynes?
So just so I understand the project, then, the idea would be to fabricate trailers that would go on bicycles, and then people would cycle to certain destinations, maybe on the route, like a milk run, and pick up a frequently supplied amount of recycles, and then you would feed those into commercial recycle processes.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay. Is this model being done elsewhere?
It's done in a number of municipalities. I believe the Downtown Victoria Business Association hires a pedal-powered recycling. There are, I believe, in the capital region, 2 or 3 existing operations.
And then what is the role of the consultant on this?
The consultant provides additional facilitation and business planning resource.
Okay, thank you.
Any more questions from council? All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Next, I'd like to invite a representative from BCSCA up to the microphone.
Evening, Mayor Abel and Council. My name is Renee Lormichael Branson. I'm the Administrative Director for the BC Sustainable Energy Association. BCSCA is a non-profit society incorporated in 2004 whose aim is to empower British Columbians to build a clean, renewable energy future. We represent individuals and businesses and provide outreach and education on sustainable energy through the work of our projects and our regional chapters. Beyond my professional work, I'm also a proud resident of Saanich and a proud mother of 2 boys, and today I'm here to share with you our education program, the Climate Change Showdown. It is clear from the construction of the new bike lanes and the sidewalks that Saanich is creating avenues that are not only safe for our young people, but also sustainable. These pathways are creating opportunities for promoting alternative forms of transportation, including biking, walking, and skateboarding, and lowering GHG emissions in the community. Our Climate Change Showdown educates elementary students on positive climate action solutions, including alternative forms of transportation that reduce their personal and household greenhouse gases. The program consists of a fun-filled 90-minute workshop in the classroom with one of our environmental educators. Along with that is a take-home challenge that they can participate in with their families over a 4-week period. The challenge proposes real solutions to reducing greenhouse gas emissions, fostering long-term behavior change for the sustainable future of the community. Examples include composting, changing light bulbs, active transport, participating in Earth Hour, as well as we would include additional priorities for the municipality. After the 4 weeks, we collect the challenges and calculate reductions, providing a report to the Sustainability Division regarding the impact of the program. As well, we have the opportunity to host celebrations with the class that reduces the most GHGs, and will provide prizes to students who participate in the take-home challenge, creating further reinforcement of the importance of their activities. At this time, we are asking for your support to fund 9 workshops in the Saanich School District. We expect to engage approximately 200 students and their families with a potential reduction of 100 tons of greenhouse gas. As well, BCSCA would be proud to promote you through our website, social media, and all of our promotional materials that go to the classrooms and the parents. We hope that we can count on your support at the municipality to bring sustainability education to Saanich students. Thank you for your consideration.
Questions from council? Councilor Dermott and then Bryce.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, through you. Certainly a goal that I think we need to accomplish. I've noticed that your program indicates workshops for around 200 students and their families.
Yes.
Are you looking at the possibility of making this kind of program into a kit that teachers could use as a resource to conduct some of the activities themselves? 200 is great. There's a lot more kids out there than that.
Yes, exactly. Well, right now the model is that municipalities fund a certain number of workshops based on their budgets that are available, or in this case, the grant that we are applying for, so under $5,000. what we've recently done is looked at the project, and we actually just finished an evaluation where we are developing new models of the program. So while the workshop is important in the classroom, there are obviously other opportunities for engagement beyond the classroom. So the take-home test does that within the municipality level, but it is true that we don't reach a lot of students just because literally we offer the project for minimal $500 as a break even. So we are looking to produce another type of model for it as well.
What I was getting at was using this program as the basis for creating materials that individual teachers themselves could use in the classroom to run a similar program, being that you will only get to a limited number of classrooms. Is that something that you anticipate?
With the redevelopment, it is possible. We were originally thinking for that level would maybe be more where we don't have educators available. In the areas of Vancouver, the CRD, we do have local educators. So we do have it in the classroom. It's really involved where the students go through a whole process of watching a video currently. We're changing that model as well. But really going through sort of competition within the class for their learning, and then they take it home. So it is something that we would definitely entertain. At this point,
Sure.
our funding is for the workshops.
I understand that,
Yeah.
but just looking to where it might lead to. My sense is there are a huge number of teachers who would like to put such a thing on, given they are extremely busy people.
Yes.
The opportunity to have a set of materials that they can simply implement would be a huge advantage. Thank you.
Sure.
Councillor Bryce?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I applaud you for choosing the grade 4 to 7 students. I have some of them in my life, and I know they're very keen to get on board with environmental issues. You're planning 9 workshops for sandwich schools, and I see you have sought funding from other municipalities and some listed through the province. Any other municipalities in Greater Victoria who have agreed to come on board to be a part of this?
Not this school year.